Well, hello everyone, welcome to qualifying. Really sorry practice 3 was not streamed earlier today. The reason for that was basically I was in a rush to get it done. I had absolutely no time to get into the stream and then finish it. I had absolutely no time whatsoever, so basically I just had to leave it run. I couldn't even watch the session. But we are here ready for the qualifying session, which gets underway very shortly indeed. In what is set to be an interesting session here at the Red Bull Ring. There's no rain at the moment. But we need to actually have a look at the radar. There is some that is actually edging in the direction of Austria. But I don't think it's actually going to affect this qualifying session. But we're almost ready. It should be an interesting session. It's going to be interesting to see where everyone's going to qualify. We've got two people who we know will not be anywhere near the front. Is going to be both Matthew Tewson and George Chandler. They both will be participating in qualifying to determine which order those two start in. But they only to decide which of them starts in front of who. They will be starting from the back of the grid because they have back of grid penalties. Matthew Tewson for taking Hannah Duran out of the race in Valencia on pit entrance, and then George Chandler actually for taking Matthew Tewson out of the race. So they both have been punished with a back of grid. And a word on what happened in the FSR today. I got a podium. Yes! First ever podium in FSR. Coming into this race off the back of that. But we're almost ready for qualifying here at the Red Bull Ring. But before we were expecting a wet race, but now the weather forecast for tomorrow has actually changed. We do actually have thunderstorms scheduled for the time of the race start tomorrow at the moment with the forecast. So we're almost ready. So at this rate, we are set to see a race that could be on a drying track, kind of like we saw in Canada. Because we have thunderstorms expected for around 1 PM, which is actually the time of the race start. Track temperature has gone down since this morning. Actually is nowhere near looking as bright as it was. And qualifying is underway here in Austria. It's James Lang who opens the session. Oh! Holding up Alex Moore's a little bit. But here is Alex Moores who starts the lap. Austrian GP exiting the pits ahead. But here is Alex Moores who starts his first lap. We've not got any indication of who's in trouble yet. And we've got a yellow out there. Who's had a problem, I wonder? Oh! That is one of the Mossets. That is Tucson. Who's had a problem. Oh! Hardy going off. Hardy going off the track and then completely collecting Tucson there. As Will Esley is out onto the circuit, so not really much going on at the moment. There is a Shantana ahead of Esley, but even if he does come across the Shantana, unless he makes a big mistake, he should make it in without a problem. But with regards to the curb on the exit of turn 8, which actually did take out a CGP3 driver yesterday, the drivers have been urgently told to be careful because they haven't actually had the time to sort it out. And but the drivers are aware that there is a bug there. So they know that they have to be cautious through that corner. Essie and the Shantana are about to go through now. Oh, Essie getting really held up there by the HWR entering the pits. It should still be a lap good enough to at least get in to Q's. It is only 11th. That's not overly safe, but I don't think he should have a problem with that lap, considering he's ahead of the likes of Legit. And he's doing another one now. I mean, Essie's 7/10 down on his previous best now, but this is where he lost the time in the final sector. This should be a good enough lap now. He goes up into 8th. That should be enough to make it in at least. If I was doing well so far in the Wigglesworth, RTS having to revert to an old car. We've got Will Buchan yet to set a time. As Will Buchan, I think, is going to be held up here. Or actually just avoided. So here's Matt Coombs. He crosses the line. He goes up into 4th. Yeah, looking a bit of trouble for RTS at the moment. They're both looking at under pressure, obviously, because they have had to revert back to the old chassis, which is not a very good chassis. Here's Matthew Tooson. Let's see what he can do. Of course, he's got a back of grid. But obviously Tootin had his last run scuppered by Kieran Hardy, who went off going into Rauch corner. It's starting to get a little bit darker out there. Is it just me? Tootin going to 13th, got a bit of help with the toe there. Okay, so in the drop zone at the moment is Mungle, Blakemore, Williams, Bland, O'Connor, Morrow, Lang, Howie, Everson and Hyde. They are the drivers at the moment who are going to fall at the first hurdle. So it's a bit of a quiet Q1 at the moment. There is rain that is actually starting to come the way of the circuit. Ever so slightly, it's starting to come the way of the circuit. I thought I just saw a drop of rain there. No, I don't think I did. The conditions are changing quite a lot. It is actually really starting to look so quite overcast out there. Yellow out, who's had a problem? Oh, it is Lucy Woodward who's collided with Phoebe O'Connor going into Rauch. So what happened? Went round the outside. They both came together. There's just no room for either of them. There is a lot of cloud movement going on at the moment. Kieran Hardy's on a good lap, but not really many improvements from the... Tom Mungle's managed to get out and up into 20th. Which pushes Pace into the drop zone. Legit's on a good lap, so she's going to try to make herself safe. Blakemore's gone back out there. Apparently RTS are doing a bit of race practice at the moment, and they not because they know they're probably not going to make it. They've not had a very good weekend, have they? Blakemore just making a little mistake going into the route. Across the line goes Blakemore. To start an up, is he going to be able to get himself out? But here is Blakemore. He's on a good lap now, so could he improve? It's not been the most exciting Q1 in the world, I must say. Oh, Blakemore getting a little bit of a swap of oversteer there. Legit pits, that could really cost him though. Didn't cost him much though. Oh, that was not good. And he did lose 2/10 there. Nope. Carrie-Anne Peace is on a lap. She's currently 21st. As into the penultimate corner goes Peace. Is she going to be able to get herself out? Tom Mungle's in the pits at the moment. Is Peace going to be able to get herself out? Yes, she does. That puts Tom Mungle in the drop zone. So Peace goes through, which displaces Mungle. Harvey Williams is on a good lap. He could improve maybe. As into the final corner goes Harvey Williams. And he crosses the line and he goes up into 23rd. As out on track does go the Tove. Both Toves have gone out there, so they should have time to complete a lap. As into the final corner goes Tom Mungle. So now is he going to be able to get himself in? So now we are seeing some interest towards the end, which is something that we do need. As Tom Mungle heads up towards the Remus. Down the back straight, he's down on his previous best, so at the moment it's not enough for Tom. Oh, we've got a car off. That is the Master Force. I don't think that did affect Tom Mungle's lap at all. As into the final corner he goes, but he is 4 tenths down, so I don't think this is going to be enough. David Bland's managed to improve. Well, I think we have our bottom 10. So, out of Q1 is Bland, Mungle, Williams, Blakemore, O'Connor, Morrow, Lang, Howie, Everson and Hyde. So Alex Moores did top. Q1. Well, actually didn't really set a competitive time. So, we're about to move forward into Q2. I wouldn't say the most exciting Q1 in the world. So, time for Q2. Here in Austria. And we are underway for Q2. First out on track we have a Gindana, a CGP, the Gindana of Kieran Hardy, the CGP, I believe that's Maximum Tagala, and the Branaster of Lucy Woodward. But we are set to have an interesting session here. As Hardy starts his lap, now up towards turn 1. Down the back straight. Up towards the Remus, now down the back straight. Of course, somewhere in there you see there is the old track. Now into Schlossgold. Now into Worth. It's a very fascinating circuit, this is. As up to Rindt goes Hardy. And across the line. 1:11.1 for the Guindana. Lucy Woodward beats it. That is impressive time for Lucy Woodward. Alex Moore's out onto the circuit. So is Will Esley. They're both going to set their times simultaneously. Toby Jones 1:10.8. Alex Moore's 1:09.9. Will Esley 1:10.1. There was a mistake at the end of the lap there. And Alex Moore's, like in Valencia, he looks to have taken the lead from his teammate in terms of pace. That is interesting. Fascinating stuff here today. So far. Will Buchan finishes a lap here. He got into 6th. That was an impressive time from Will Buchan as well. As Wondergala and Woodward go into the pits. No major indications yet of who's in trouble. Both Dorks yet to set a time. They're both out on track though. Through this part of the track goes Strand, now up towards the final 2 corners. Into Rindt. And then into the final corner. And across the line, she goes 3rd. Hawks on that, but she could get held up here by her own teammates. That would not be good. Especially if Duran heads into the pits. And Hawk goes third though. So she does improve. Matt Coombs, who didn't set a good lap to start with, he's only 12, so he's in a bit of trouble at the moment. Abby Ledger about to complete a lap. Of course, Tucson and Chandler we know will be put to the back of the grid. Not really much going on at the moment, so I'd say Coombs is the biggest shock at the moment out. Of course, with the CGP2 race coming up later, just to remind everyone. Only the two Mossetts and Marco Wiffos out on track. So Marco goes into the pits. Peace going back out there. Didn't realise Hawk was still on track. So still very much a lull in proceedings at the moment. So Ledger out on the track. Here's Tucson. And this is an interesting situation. Behind Abby Leggett, we know there have been tensions between them. Of course, Matthew Tucson is now going to be held up here by Leggett. He was on a good lap. He did a good first sector. He's going to try to get through down the inside. He does, but that's the lap gone. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure that's the lap gone for Matthew Tucson. And he just said on the team radio, what the bleep is Leggett doing? Is he going to be able to improve? He's still improving in the first and second sectors. No, he doesn't. That would have been personal best had Legit not gotten in his way. I mean, he's still ahead of Chandler, but Chandler's got another lap to do. Nearly done. That's not what you should do. To go holding up your teammate. Alex Moores is improving on his previous best in the first sector. This could be interesting to watch. Let's see what Alex Moores can do. SC's just started that. He improves, does Alex Moores, but not by much. Milner's got an engine failure. Matt Coombs is on track, but with a bit of traffic. Lucy Woodward is going out there. Oh, Walesi set a fantastic first sector just then. He's got the Mossa of Tucson ahead though, which could affect his lap. He lost time in the middle sector, but the final sector he did lose a lot of time on his previous best, and I don't think he's going to gain much time, with especially as Tucson's going into the pits. So we don't know how quick this lap was going to be, because Tucson pitted ahead. Matt Coombs has improved in the first sector, got the Coombs GP ahead, but if one of them pits, that could cause a problem for him. We've got a yellow out there, so who's had a problem? Or is it Woodward? I think it might have been Lucy Woodward who's had a problem somewhere. No, it wasn't Lucy Woodward, because it looked like she was just rejoining from something. Never got to see what it was. Coombs has got into 8th. And Lucy Woodward's on a good lap. She did have her lap scuppered a little bit by Max Undergaro on her first run. So Lucy feeds the car into Rauch corner. Found time in the middle sector, and this is where she lost time in the final sector. But it's going to be either this lap or nothing for Lucy. That looks very good. That looks like a good complex of corners there for Lucy Woodward. Is this going to be enough for now? It is, but only to beat Hardy. So it's not going to get him in. Get her in. And Chandler's got up to 17th, so that means Tucson will be 29th at this rate. But it's Hardy's now and all that. But Hardy's on a good one. But that was not good, that oversteer. As into Rint goes Kieran. Yellow out there once again. Only for a brief second. Is Kieran Hardy going to improve? No, he doesn't. Oh, we had an incident! And that scuppered all Legit's chance of getting through. That was O'Driscoll who's gone off at turn 1. I think we have our bottom. We have our the cars that we're going to lose now. We know who we're going to lose. So, the checkered flag is out. So, falling from Q2 is Woodward, Hardy, Quincy, a good qualifying for him, Towson, Legit, Wondragala, Chandler, Ifos, Carter and Peace. So we now have our top 10. So as everyone heads into the pits, as now it's time for Q3. And the session is about to get underway. So, Will Buchan is the first out on track for Q3. In the Baronasso. It's going to be interesting to see how Buchan's going to do on this lap. It's how everyone's going to do, to see who's going to get pole. No sign of Alex Morse has gone. Well, he hasn't yet. So up towards turn 1 goes Will Buchan. Down the back straight. Into turn 2. Into 3. Into 4, 5 and 6. It's a very turbulent layout this is. So now Will Buchan heads up towards Rint corner. And now into the final corner. So how is this going to do for Will Buchan? And he's at 110.9. Alex Moores is on a lap. Will Essie's on track. So Alex Moores, so what time is he doing at the moment? He's on an 18.0 in the first sector, which is not great, to be honest. Matt Coombs to the 110.7. 18.1 for Chantal Hawk. Alex Moores to the 110.1. What about Will Essley? He's kind of matched Alex Moores in the first sector, actually a little bit down. So into the middle sector. I mean, we joined Alex Moores when he was going through this section, and I think Essie's looked a little bit better here than Alex Moores has. It's a purple middle sector, so I was right. This is where he lost the time in Q2. Let's see what this is going to do for Will Essley. Who is it going to be first blood to? That's a mistake there in the final corner for Will Essley. It's that final sector that he just can't get hooked up, and he is 2 tenths behind his teammate. It's that final sector where Essie just can't get hooked up. And that is has been Essie's undoing so far. But we think that we will see Will Essie out for another run later in the session. But someone who's done well so far, Will Buchan, who's at, I thought he was right within the top 10, but only Baldwin has set a time. But it is the final sector that Essie has struggled in today. As here's Toby Jones. Let's see what he's going to do. He goes up into 4th. O'Driscoll, Milner and Duran have yet to set times yet. Essley goes into the pits. Millen has just started, has just gone out onto the circuit. As Duran heads into turn 1, doesn't really get that hooked up there, to be honest. Let's see what Duran is going to do. 18-1. O'Driscoll has not set a time yet. As Duran heads into the final corner across the line. She goes up into third. That's interesting. Dan Millen's on a lap. But it is the final sector that is Waleski's undoing at the moment. So, if they are both going to go out on track again, I was surprised Duran went third ahead of Hawk, considering her first sector. Milner goes up into fifth. O'Driscoll has not set a time yet. So, we're just waiting to see the next car out on track. Baldwin's gone out there. So he's gone for a second run. So Duran into the pits, so they're just waiting. To see how many cars we're going to get out on track again. So, Baldwin starts a lap. DRS open on the run up to turn 1. Up towards the Remus goes Jack Baldwin. No improvement at the moment. Dan Milner is still out there. Alex Morse has gone out there again. O'Driscoll's gone out there. So across the line goes Jack Baldwin. He does not improve. Is Walesi actually going to go again? I don't think he's going to be honest. I don't think he's got time, so I think this will mean Alex Moores is going to take pole again. That final sector is his undoing. It's that final sector that is his undoing. Let's see what Hawk can do. O'Driscoll's on a lap. Alex Moores is on a lap. And it looks like he is going to improve just to rub it in Walesi's face here. It's this final sector where Estley has been absolutely losing out. And Alex Moores does improve to 110.1. So Alex Moores has cemented that margin up front. As O'Driscoll is about to set her only qualifying time. 7th she goes, so just behind her teammate Chantal Hawk. And she goes second. She has split the two Yanata Rokas as Chantal Hawk. That, wow, that makes tomorrow's race interesting. That, I'm sure Walesi is regretting that decision now. That makes tomorrow's race interesting. That was a fantastic lap from Chantal Hawk. Only a 10th off Alex Moores. Wow. That was probably one of the best laps Chantal Hawk has done. Wow. And that is qualifying. Whew, that was interesting. And considering Hawk's pace, that could really help her race tomorrow. Considering how good she usually is on the soft tyre, I think she could have a chance tomorrow. If you were her, you'd probably not want a wet race at all. That's probably the thing you'd be absolutely praying to not have, a wet race. is probably the one thing you wouldn't want. But wow, Chantal Hawk really pulled that out of the bag. And now Will Essie's really got his work cut out tomorrow. He's really got his work cut out for tomorrow. But that was a great lap from Chantal Hawk. To get that Dork racing car into second on the grid. The way that she did there. And that has set us up for what could be an interesting race tomorrow. We do have a CGP2 race coming up soon afterwards. Soon after this. But now we're going to give you a rundown of the grid. In 30th on the grid will be George Chandler, obviously with a back of grid penalty. Then in 29th on the grid we have Matthew Towson. He also has a back of grid penalty, but starts ahead of Chandler as he managed to qualify ahead. Might be a little bit of a dispute between him and his teammate. In 28th on the grid it is the 99 of Louis Hyde, who did a 1:14.572. 27th on the grid we have Elliot Everson, a 1:14.235. In 26th on the grid, it is Bex Howie, a 1:14.154. In 25th on the grid, it is James Lang, 1:14.126. Of course, way off the rest of the field. RTS struggling once again. Louise Morrow starts in 24th. A 1:13.278. Phoebe O'Connor starts in 23rd. I really do hope that this season she doesn't end it without scoring any points, because we know Phoebe is fast. (22nd on the grid, it is Ben Blakemore, 1:12.378. 21st on the grid, Harvey Williams, 1:12.354. 20th on the grid, we have Tom Mungle, 1:12.082. 19th on the grid, David Bland, 1:11.888. 18th on the grid we have Kerry Ann Peace, 1:11.856. 17th on the grid we have Chloe Carter, 1:11.849. 16th on the grid, we have Marco Ifoz. 111.825. 15th on the grid, we have Max van der Garde. 111.648. 14th on the grid, Abbey Legit. 111.616. 13th on the grid, Lucas Quintanilla. 111.487. 12th on the grid, Kieran Hardy. 111.180. 11th on the grid, Lucy Woodward. 111.094. 10th on the grid, we have Jack Baldwin. 111.123. 9th on the grid, Will Buchan, really impressing. 110.987. 8th on the grid, Matt Coombs. 110.772. 7th on the grid, Rosie O'Driscoll. 110.638. 6th on the grid, Toby Jones. 110.589. 5th on the grid, Dan Milliner. 110.552. 4th on the grid, Hannah Duran. 110.423. 3rd on the grid, he'll be disappointed, Will Esley. He really does have his work cut out for tomorrow. 110.313. 2nd on the grid, probably the biggest upset of the session, Chantel Hawke. What a lap she pulled out of the bag. 110.274. And on pole position is Alex Moores on a 110.113. And that is your grid for the Austrian Grand Prix. On what certainly should be an interesting race. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We've got a CGP2 race coming up later, but as far as CRC is concerned, we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.